and welcome to the news. I am Saja Brito. Coming up this evening, TRRC facilitate reconciliation between victims and perpetrators, and police arrest and charge Madi Jabate for false publication and broadcasting. Gambians find new alternative to exercise amid gym closure. Gynecologists discussed yeast infection and how it affects women. But first, we'll begin with the newspapers. The Standard newspaper is reporting that Madi Jabate has been charged and released on bail, and a Senegalese man arrested for alleged homosexual act, and UDP party leader and Secretary General Dabo visits GK farm. Let's take a look at some of these stories in detail. Senegalese man arrested for alleged homosexual act. The Standard newspaper has been reliably informed that the police have arrested a Senegalese national for an alleged homosexual act. I can confirm to you that a Senegalese national was arrested since last Friday at Kotu for homosexuality-related offenses. He is currently at the Kotu police station. He is expected to appear in court on Wednesday. He is expected to appear in court on Wednesday, and he is said to be a tailor, a highly placed police source disclosed to the Standard newspaper. Madi Jabate charged and released on bail. Top Gambian human rights activist Madi Jabate has been charged with false publication and broadcasting. The Westminster Foundation country representative was invited by police for questioning yesterday, few days after leading a Black Lives Matter protest where activists called for an end to racism and injustice against blacks in America. Dabo visits GK farm. Dabo visits GK farm. The leader of the United Democratic Party, UDP, Usainu Dabo, last Sunday visited a local farm in Toubacouta owned by a Gambian US-based civil servant. The 25-hectare farm located in the outskirts of Toubacouta is one of the biggest farms in the area, motivated to make Gambia a food self-sufficient country. UDP expels Sirifo Sonko again. The United Democratic Party has finally expelled its elected chairman of Brikama Area Council after he failed a 7-day ultimatum to respond to numerous allegations brought against him by the party. Sirifo Sonko was a key figure in the UDP but fell out of favor with the rank and file of the Yellow Brigade after they accused him of shifting his allegiance to the newly formed National People's Party of President Adama Barrow. GAB says cabinet wanted to make Barrow a dictator. The leader of the Gambia Action Party has accused the cabinet of attempting to give President Barrow powers of a dictator in their position paper submitted to the Constitutional Review Commission. Barrow's cabinet, in its position on the draft constitution, has called on the CRC to empower the president with a clause in the draft that will make it possible to dissolve the National Assembly of the Gambia. And government maintains fuel prices despite global increase. Senegalese national charged with murder. Musa Sise, a Senegalese national, was yesterday charged with a single count of murder in Brikama court. According to police prosecutor Inspector Kemo Y. Manning, Musa allegedly hit one Abdul Aziz Kamara with a stick on his head, causing his death. The incident happened on June 24, 2020 at Sanyang village in Kombo South. Government withdraws motion to extend state of public emergency. The Gambia government on Tuesday withdrew a motion for the extension of the state of public emergency, the Standard newspaper reports. The government had earlier sought an extension from the legislature for 45 days, but lawmakers could not consider it because the executive has reportedly communicated its position not to proceed with it on Tuesday. We have now been informed that the president has once again extended the state of public emergency to 7 more days. And that's it for the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at some of the headlines on the point. Armed robbers injure PIU officer, escape with over 9 million CFA. Madi Jabate faces false publication and broadcasting charges. Gambia confirms 2 new COVID-19 cases. Let's take a look at those stories. Armed robbers injure PIU officer, escape with over 9 million CFA. Armed robbers has reportedly struck at Kirpate village in the North Bank region and injured one Mboj Bam, an officer of the police intervention unit who was posted at the PIU base of the said village. The point has been informed. The armed robbers had laid ambush before attacking 3 shops belonging to Mauritanian national and made away with more than 8 million CFA. They also went away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. The robbers were reportedly to have ambushed the PIU base in the village and held key places within the village. That's it for the newspapers. Let's go for a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. The Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission facilitate reconciliation between victims and perpetrators as Soriba Konde apologizes to Ensa Jesus Abaji. Jakasi Sejaite tells us more.
The TRC has and continues to hear sick human rights violations as both victims and perpetrators continue to tell the investigation abuses that have taken place during the 22 years rule of former President Yahya Jammeh. But in the spirit of peace and unity, the investigation on Wednesday facilitated reconciliation between perpetrators of human rights violations and their victims. Ensa Jesus Baji said at the meeting he has wholeheartedly forgiven convicted thief Soriba Konde, whose testimony against him played a big part in his jailing.
Today's date is another day in the history of my life that I will never forget till I will die. I don't blame Soriba. I have forgiven Soriba wholeheartedly between myself and God. I have forgiven anybody who participated in my plot, in my torture, in my castration, and in my sentencing to jail, life, 35 years, 10 months. I've forgiven all of them. The target was to give me death. I could have been among the 9 inmates that were executed. That was the target, but I thank God. I've forgiven Soriba and everybody. Between myself and God, I'm a Muslim. Jamal, it is so painful being an Inspector General of Police. You are arrested, tortured, imprisonment on something that you've never seen, you've never known. Soriba's incident happened when I was an inspector 12 years ago, before I became an IGP. I served only 2 years plus. It wasn't easy. I faced a lot of difficulties. It is not his fault. The name he mentioned during TRC, Tony, when Tony was picked up, he lost one of his eyesight. When he was released, eventually he died. Things were so terrible in those days. I accepted that if he didn't comply, he would face the same thing.
The former police chief was arrested in 2010 on bogus charges of drug trafficking, corruption and theft. He was later jailed after Soriba Konde, a thief who specialized in breaking shops, gave false testimony against him. Soriba says he has been remorseful.
Dama one mistake. Sama diganta Isa Baji. Allah nit ku boni nyota bema taw yahako. So yaha bobu since 2009. Ñun ñoo nekkoon si kaso man Isa sama mag la am naa fu ma taawaloon bu dul moom dinaa doon teel a kaso boo palisa bu dul moom ba mu ñëw si kaso bi tamit man maa nekk first person ku ñëw pour defar néegam after nit yi dañ ñu jaase sama main bunja si sama main madam taw si code fen lu nga xamne ci kawam du dega.
Soriba, who has been in jail for over 10 years, begged for Mr. Baji's forgiveness. Soriba said he did wrong Mr. Baji and always felt ashamed when he sees Mr. Baji while they were both in Mile 2.
man te bu mu jot daal dama yàkkante te jot waaye dama xat si sama biir lu ma ko def su ma war a dee noonu du baa si man since maa ngi Janjanbureh dama yónnoon office si moom sax ma ne ko daal dëgga maa ngi ko jégal ma ko doon jégal tamit lu ma ko tooñ dafa métti bente tamit maa ngi koy ñaan mu jégal ma man sama war bi du sori man maa ko tooñ lu ma ko def tamit dama naxari xolam naxari xol mbokkaam yi so maa ngi koy ñaan mu jégal ma maa ngi ñaan mbokkaay tamit ñu jégal ma Sabaaji nekkul nit ku bon si man non bu doon nit ku bon la si man dinaa ko doon xam kaso bu may tëdda ni wax naa leen bu dul moom dinaa doon tëdda kaso lu ëppali sax maa ngi koy ñaan daal sama mag la na ma mu jégal ma daal ngir yàlla gis
jégal la
Another big reconciliation meeting was between Omar A. Jallow and Major Bubakar Ba of the army. The former was the man who broke Mr. Jallo's eye in 1996, a savagery he confessed to in December last year before the TRC. He is now saying sorry to his victim.
In 1996, the pain I have inflicted on him, and also by extension to his family, that once again, before this commission, I want to humble myself and to say to him that I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for everything, and I'm sorry for every other thing to him personally, and also by extension to his family. And I really want him to forgive me from the bottom of his heart. I finally want him to understand around that time that, there was a lot of misinformation about him and, the situation around that time. And as a result of that, I didn't use my mind to verify whether it was truth or not. So, but then nevertheless, once again, I want to apologize to him, and I want him to forgive me, and I want his family also to forgive me from the bottom of his heart.
Omar Jallow is accepting his plea for forgiveness.
That there is no perfect human being. We all make mistakes. And then if we are believers, then it is our responsibility that if that person comes forward and accept his or her faults and beg for forgiveness, I think as a believer, either a Christian or a Muslim, you are required by your religion to do that. But Chairman, I think this is one of the most important gatherings that you have so far organized in order to bring not only reconciliation in this country, because to bring peace. Because peace is everything. Without peace, we can never go to our mosque or our churches. Without peace, there will be no development in any country. Therefore, I want, on behalf of my family, on behalf of myself and everybody who looks up to me, to thank you and your commissioners for a job that you are doing to concretize reconciliation, peace, so that every Gambian will live in peace, and we owe it to our children, our grandchildren, and generations unborn. Thank you, and may God bless you, and make sure you successfully complete your job, and Gambians will adhere to the recommendations of the Commission. As for Bubakar, he's my nephew, he's my son. His eldest brother Usman is my very good friend, and they are the same mother and father from Nyomi, not so?
Correct, sir.
Therefore, I know at that time what you were doing to us, it was not because you wanted to do it. You were commanded to do it. Because those who commanded you were there standing, watching whether you will do what they ask you to do. Therefore, if at all I was going to be angry, I'll be angry with those people and not with you. You were carrying out orders. That is why, from day one when I came to the TRRC, I said, I've forgiven you. And I meant it. From my deep heart, I have forgiven you, and I still hold you as my brother and my nephew, as I held Usman. And I want you to feel that way and be free to visit me or come and see me or talk to me. This is what Gambia wants. Good. Thank you very much. I know you're home in your meeting, so yes, please. Now you are part of the government. Yes, so Malagiji is not fine. Okay, thank you very much. All right.
Wednesday's reconciliation session also saw Ibrahim Jame, alias Chief Tocho, and Malang Tamba apologize to thief Soriba Konde and rapist Lamin Jah, who they tortured at Mile 2.
Where I am sitting right now, whatever I'm going to say is only same. It is so shameful, so sorrowful for the Gambian people to entrust you with an office that taxpayers are paying you and you break their trust. It is very painful, but we did it. We break the trust of the Gambians by doing whatever we did to Soriba Konte, Lamin Jah, and Fallou Cissé. Maybe in one way or the other, personally, I have offended other people knowingly or unknowingly who have not come out here. I am asking for their forgiveness. That is Soriba Konte, Lamin Jah, and Fallou Cissé, and any other persons that I may offend in one way or the other, knowingly to me or unknowingly to me. I am very sorry.
I had to sit here and seek for forgiveness from Soriba Konde and Lamin Jah. I know it was not easy, as I said here on my testimony, that based on anger and certain things, satanic enters to me, and then I have acted on that in that way. So I deeply regretted my actions towards them. I need for them to forgive me for my own actions.
Their victims have surely found it in their hearts, and they say they are forgiven.
kuy kuy Christian war nga jégal kon nak jégal na len te suma oncle yi toog fi tam mag neena nuyu fu mu war a jégalee man tam dama war a jégale waruma see teg baat sax di nuyu ñëpp si seen tur ak seen sant jégal naa doon si xol bu seeda guy.
Today this gathering is very, very meaningful for my life. So hence a word of sorry came from his mouth. I will forgive him because I'm Muslim. And I learn what the Quran says. I know everything. I forgive him from my heart. Jégal naa ko ci xol bu sedd guy. Jégal naa ko ci xol bu sedd guy. But maa ngi appeal also ñi nga xam ñi ngi liggéey ci système yi ñu bàyyi seen xel. Dinaa ko remind moom benn baat bi mu doon wax. Man baal naa ko nag just dama ko remarks rek comme ça mu fàttali ko ñeneen tamit ñu xool xam ne àdduna mu solo. Bu ma doon maa ngi yow maanaam ko expliqué man dinaa dee. Do you know what was his words? So they -1. Your records are already been here. Billahi wallahi talay. Just -1. Nothing comes out of it. xam naa du ko recall. Xoolal tey lan moo xew. Lan moo xew tey. Something comes out of it. waaye nag man jégal naa ko ci xol bi sedd guy.
Today's event is to promote the continuous peace and tranquility of the Gambia and to prevent the atrocities that were committed in the past from reoccurring. Forgiveness is healing. The mood in the room was that of emotional empathy and remorse, but also joy for the perpetrators, knowing that they will be forgiven for their wrongful deeds and finally have that closure they have longed for. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, I am Jaka Sisijete.
Welcome back. And now, renowned human rights activist Amadi Jobate has been charged and released on false publication and broadcasting charges following comments at a Black Lives Matter protest on Saturday. Umusau tells us more.
Mr. Jobate reported to the police station at 10 a.m. Wednesday. At Defiant, Mr. Jobate spoke to reporters as soon as he came outside the station.
I was invited in courts, which turned out to be, they said it's not an arrest, but then I was not free to leave. So for me, it was a kidnapping. Yeah, they said it's about my comments made in an interview with the media on Saturday. With regards to the murders of Haruna Jatta, Usman Dabo, and Keba Seka. What is happening is a big setback for democracy. Citizens have a right to express themselves, their opinion, and it is true that self-expression that they hold to account the state. And so for expressing oneself, and then you are questioned about your opinion by the police, means effectively the police do not want citizens to hold the government to account. And when citizens cannot hold a government to account, then that means we are going to have a situation of dictatorship, because that means we're going to have a state that is unchecked. And an unchecked state is dictatorship. So what is happening right now is push towards dictatorship and not towards democracy.
Ganjai and Lala Toure were among a crowd of concerned Gambians that descended on the police station to show support to the top activist.
Jobate is an upright, astute Gambian who means well to the interests of the greater good of this society. To the point, a lot of people have nicknamed him Madi Westfield Jobate, that he puts his mouth in any and everything. You see, I'm a Wolof, partially, and my Wolofs of old are used to saying that Bir Budawi Kenen Lose Ame Tatu Rocheko. This is the problem of this country. We think that so long as I'm not affected, I should not bother. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Madi is not speaking for Madi, but Madi is speaking for the interests of the greater good of society. And this is something that all of us should be happy about, all of us should promote, and all of us should jealously and fiercely guard. So Madi Jobate being called here wasn't called because of the person Madi Jobate, but some of the ills that he is seeing and are not properly and adequately addressed. Case in point, Usman Dabo. Yes, Usman Dabo is not a Gambian national, but this country believes that anyone who wakes up in this country, be it a Chinese, a Gambian or otherwise, must be protected by our laws and must be a person that we should protect his or her human rights. So Madi Jobate believes that Usman Dabo, case in point, has been killed, whether the government like it or not, in the hands of the government, because he was in custody, released, came back to report, and something happened and he was rushed. We want to know what happened to him. Gambia hasn't reached a point where our law enforcers should be wearing body cams because we cannot afford it. But the time has come. All the police precincts in this country, the cells and the interrogative rooms must have a CCTV so that we can hold our police officials accountable for what they do, because the things of the past are still prevalent in today. The very people who violated rights for over 22 years are still in uniform, and since they're in uniform, all habits die hard. They haven't changed their mode of operandi, and that is one thing we need to make sure it changes in the new Gambia.
Mr. Jobate's bail has been extended and he will report back to the police station on Thursday. He was charged with false publication and broadcasting following his invitation for questioning on Tuesday. The charge is in respect of comments he made at Black Lives Matter The Gambia's protest held last Saturday. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Umisau.
And now joining me live from West is renowned activist, Coach Pa Samba Jau. Coach, welcome to the Fatu Network News Review. Are you?
Thank you very much, Sergio, for having me.
Thank you very much, Coach. I believe you've seen the video and you've read the news on why Mahdi was arrested and charged. You were part of the struggle that many people say played an instrumental role in the ousting of former President Yahya Jammeh. Now, fast forward to 2020, when you hear statements like our newfound democracy, we all know it wasn't handed on a platter. We fought for it. It took a lot of sacrifices. And for us to be here today, what was your first reaction when you heard about Mahdi's story, that he has been arrested and charged on false publication and broadcasting?
Well, Sergio, I was absolutely disgusted, but not surprised. And the reason why I was not surprised, I think, was really lamented by Nyang Jai, in that what used to happen is still prevalent in the Gambia. It is absolutely disgusting and disconcerting that after 3 years of Jammeh's departure, Gambians are still here dealing with frivolous charges of spreading false news or broadcasting false news. You see, what this government has failed to realize is, my worry especially is not about Mahdi. I know Mahdi can take care of himself. But my worry is the little man, the other people who may not be as forceful in the defense of their fundamental rights and freedoms as Mahdi. And I believe that this government must hit the redial button and ask itself whether it is doing itself any good. Because arresting citizens, charging them with frivolous charges, such as broadcasting false news, I think is the lowest low that this government can go. I don't think Barrow realizes the damage that some of these people are doing to him and his government. And if he is in cahoots with them, the damage that he is doing to the fight that we all fought for to bring about democracy in the Gambia.
Do you think that Mahdi was actually arrested for the comments he made at that Black Lives Matter protest, or the fact that he has been pointing out some of the wrongs that are being done in this present government?
Well, I believe that there is an intimidation tactic that is being used by this government to try to silence one of the most conscious Gambians in the Gambia today, a man who has made it his business to be the voice of the voiceless, a man who has made it his business to point out the many wrongs that this government has done. So I believe this was a calculated move by this government to try to silence Mahdi. But I think they've also pretty much entangled themselves in a very serious issue that they would find very hard to get out of.
And like I said in the beginning, during this period, it is actually very easy for people or our government officials to tell Gambians our newfound democracy. But this is something that is not, or was not handed on a platter, like I said. It was fought for. Gambians actually fought for this newfound democracy. And when this present government came in, one of the key things that they emphasized was the SSR, the security sector reform. Now, where does this leave us?
Well, it leaves us where we thought we would never be, because I don't think this government has ever been serious about the reforms. I think if there is anything that President Barrow has demonstratively shown, is that his interest lies in succeeding himself and nothing else. And I don't think that would leave him a great legacy. It is sad, but you see, the most interesting thing about this, Mahdi said that this government has not shown seriousness in investigating the killing of Haruna Jatta. He was called for questioning. Fabakary Tombong Jatta made the same claim on November 22nd, 2019. And he made it again March 19, 2020. Everywhere that Fabakary Tombong Jatta has spoken, he had mentioned the killing of Haruna Jatta and the lack of investigation. But we've never heard him or anybody else in the APRC, plus those that are threatening people every day, being ever called for questioning by the police or arrested or charged with a crime. So I think that itself speaks volumes.
And the fact that activism is taking a new turn, particularly in this country, but sometimes when you are fighting for something, it is important that the people you are fighting for give you the same support and the same energy. Oftentimes you come across Gambians saying all the activists in this country are nothing but a bunch of attention-seeking people. How does this help in the fight against injustice?
Well, it's nothing new. Dr. King used to be called a rabble-rouser. Malcolm was called a troublemaker. So what is important in an activist is to have conscience, to be guided by conscience. If you're guided by conscience, it doesn't matter what negative views are thrown at you. Because at the end of the day, we just saw it was just 2 years that the Daffodil protest was supposed to happen. People were vilifying them and insulting them. Today, those same people who vilified them are now pretty much crying about the same thing that Daffodil was trying to fight against 2 years ago. So if you're guided by conscience, you will not worry about what is thrown at you. All that is important for an activist is to know that what you are doing it in the interest of the people and guided by a cause that will be able to at least help the people. As far as that is your preoccupation, you will not be bothered by who said what and what. Those will happen. You will hear that every time. But at the end of the day, you're worried about all the distractions and detractors.
And talking about activism still, and police brutality and everything, the arrest and everything, considering everything that is unfolding at the TRRC right now, if you've watched the program today, we've seen Ensa Baji come in contact with his perpetrator, Soriba Konde, for him to apologize. What do you have to say to our security personnel? Because it seems like they've not learned from the past. We've seen everything that is happening on the TRRC right now. What do you have to say to them?
Well, there is always a tomorrow. No government will last forever, and no power. Nobody, how powerful you are, will remain powerful. Yahya Jammeh was the most powerful person in that country for 22 years. Today he is in exile. All that is important is know that when you're working for the people. It is the people that are paying your salary. There is no need for you to brutalize people. If people commit crimes, that's why we have laws. Gambia is supposed to be a country of laws and not of men. If somebody commits a crime, let the law take its course. You don't have to brutalize anybody. Otherwise, it will come back to haunt you. And I hope that this reconciliation that they are doing, I don't think should overshadow justice, because in the absence of justice, you don't have peace. It was Dr. King who said that true peace is not merely the absence of tension, but the presence of justice. So we must have that justice, and people must be dealt with legally for crimes that they have committed. I think that's the only way that we can.
So reconciliation is not just enough.
No, it's not. Reconcile. Those are your things, because you have a crime against an individual and a crime against the state. When you abuse your duties, that is a crime against the state. So that must be put in mind. We cannot just do the Gambian way, or balal nala aha, balal ma aha. We've been saying balal aha since the cows this thing, since the beginning of time. But that has not stopped the crimes that have been committed against innocent Gambians. And this is why it is very sad that somebody like Gorgim is promoted now after try it and give it a fair trial. If they are acquitted in a court of law, great. If they are convicted, they serve time. I believe that's the only way that we can stop this madness that is happening.
And despite all the testimonies on the TRRC, we've seen that some of the people who are described as perpetrators are still involved, very much involved, working for this present government. I mean, how do you see that as a human rights activist?
Well, it was insulting when I saw Mr. Ba, who was apologizing to OJ they said is a major bar, in his full military uniform, and you ask yourself, have you learned anything? You know, this is not about to be being at people, but they committed crimes. You cannot commit crimes against the state and be rewarded with a job you to abuse people. Listen, there must be repercussions and consequences to the land. Because at the end of the day, if you continue this nonsense, no change is going to happen. That's it. This has been going on for a very, very asking them to investigate, genuine investigation of the killing of Mr. Cisse, who was killed by the cops here in the United States, in Georgia. It's the same government that is pretty much giving a deaf ear to its police, who are pretty much abusing people every day. So it is a sad thing, and I hope that we as a people must become a serious people, or will become a serious people, and start confronting abuse. That is the only way that we can put an end to this. We cannot continue to be fighting the same fight forever. This was supposed to be a new beginning, and not one where people will be charged with this cacophonous charges that cannot stand in a day, stand anywhere. It doesn't make sense. But if you continue shaking hands and saying balal nala balal ma aharek, we will continue to be balal te ahabe and nothing is going to change.
Thank you very much there, Coach Pa Samba Jau, live from the US there. Thank you very much, Coach, for coming through to the Fastest Club News Review today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's go for a break and then we'll be right back. No gym, no problem, as Gambians continue to deal with the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Now that gyms are closed, they have turned to new alternative to break a sweat. Let's take a look. The coronavirus pandemic has forced the closure of gyms and fitness clubs around the globe, and of course the Gambia is no exception. But if you think a deadly pandemic will deter Gambians from breaking a sweat, then you are wrong. Today we are out here in Fajara as dozens of Gambians take to the streets and beaches to maintain their fitness. Fitness trainer Sheikh Ndao said the coronavirus pandemic has changed how people exercise. Ndao said the closure of gyms is no excuse for laziness, as health and wellness must be prioritized. The fitness guru implored Gambians to start exercising more and reduce the high consumption of sugar and unnecessary food seasonings that could be detrimental to their health. Ndao said the number of high blood and diabetes-related deaths among the young have surged recently and could be simply averted, he says, if young people engage in simple fitness routines.
Okay. Brother, yow nga wax ñu yow naka nga tudda?
Cheikh Ndaw.
Cheikh yow fan nga jógee?
maa ngi jógee Latrikunda Jaman booru Africell.
So da nga daw from Latrikunda Jaman ba fii?
Yeah, dama jógee foofu daw ba fii because gym yaa ngi tëj. So da nga gis ne te dama miin exercise da nga gis ne every day su ma wàccee dama dee daw ba fii train daw after ma push up, you know. So ci loolu laa nekk daal maintain sama fitness, you know. Yeah.
Right now gym yaa ngi close because of coronavirus waaye xam nga lu ñaaw lu ñëw rek am na daf dee mën a am advantage. Gis nañ ne gym yaa ngi close waaye still Gambians ñu ne ñoom foog ñu break a sweat ñëpp a ngi génn yaa ngi koo gis comme street bi nit ñi dañoo daw ñëw si beach beeg yow naka nga gisee loolu as someone koo xam ne comme xam nga fitness trainer nga.
No, it's nice because so il faut nga daw because daw moom moo nekk juste natural so gym bi baax na trop waaye daw bi daal moom mooy lépp daw ak push up. Yeah, that's it. Natural, yeah.
lan nga am pour wax nit ñi si jamonoy coronavirus because nit ñaa ngi quarantine ñu bari ngi tëju nag kenn génnut ñu ngi lekka yu bari ak yooyu noonu lan nga am pour wax yooyu noonu xëy na suma masque
waaw la ma am pour wax gars yi comme everybody so ñu génn exercise train you know because exercise dafa nekk loo xam ne this is good health dafa nekk loo xam ne daf la dee mën a maintain waaw mu nga am benn age boo xam ne waaw soo nekkee si exercise so sa age du feeñ so still daf la dee keep young so moo tax exercise kenn ku nekk daf ko war a def everybody muy mag xale man dama si yàgg trop it's a long time so dama ko miin su ma ko deful sax da nga gis ne dama dee tayal you know yeah moo tax dama miin exercise too much ba dama dee bëgg a xam nga di advice ñëpp ñu ñëw di exercise di daw lépp loo xam ne war nañu ko def pour di ñaxa because lekk ñuy lekk la léegi
waaw xam naa ne saa yu ñu waxi exercise nag yéen góor yi Gambia Sénégal foog ngeen wax naan waaw yéen jigéen ñi boole na togg seen jimbo yeeg jaxase bi day bari waaye xam nañ ne comme dëgg la bu ñooy togg yu ñooy jaxase dafay bari loolu important na trop pour nit ñi war di génn di jóg di tàngal seen yaram
nit ku nekk da nga war a génn pour di daw you know di ñaxa because lekk ñuy lekk baaxul surtout jumbo yi because jigéen nañ dëgër boppa so da nga leen wax ne bu leen jumbo xorom ñu
xaaral loo mi understand ma la de loo miin jigéen ñi nañ
dëgër bopp laay comme da ngay gis ne all the time jigéen ñi da nga leen wax ne xorom leen ñu waaye dañuy jumbo te jumbo baaxul si góor so ñëpp complain loolu so jumbo baaxul so dañuy high blood bi everything xale yu ndaw ngay gis so ñu am ay feebar di dee di am xam nga you know I don't know because nit ñi daal war nañoo be careful loolu so take care at least seen wér-gu-yaram daal waaw wér-gu-yaram doomu aadama ni ku nekk war nga koo jéema saama daal xam nga man it's very important man ñu ma xamul bariwul waaw man ñu ma xamul si gym yeeg everybody bariwul because man dama si yàgga trop bu ma nekkee xale ba léegi you know moo tax fu mu toll nii képp ki gën a wàll ñoo xam ne ñu ngi si gym yi wala everybody so buñ ma gisee dañ xam ne kii man lii dafa nekk nocc si man dafa nekk ci man waaw.
man moom nag xaw ma suma fitness fan la toll waaye foog naa ne maa ngi baax waaye man soo foog rek
yaa ngi baax
waaye foog rek nga won ma xam nga yeneen bagage yeeg yooyu noonu ma mun a xam naka la fa dee tàjjee su ko defee man it ma mun a nekk initié so man soo too fa war a moom ñu seet
bu la dara man soo ñëwal
Tolu?
Ibrahim
ita botamu dole?
Latrikunda German.
So you brought her from Latrikunda German to here?
Yeah.
But nga jele ko Latrikunda German mo fitale because nim momo diamata ka fanyel ko mota Latrikunda German. So that's good. You guys are really fit. Nga jele ko ite imu borlalti fo?
Nga beleke gym, push up, bro. Yeah, and football.
Yeah. So nga jele ko right now tenting gymol be close rene bare hani kabi gamenol be finti kane kana silol kangi be borle be ta bicol to ite woje nyaadi le.
Abete atale because kasi kensenta man betea because every day ka domoro minke. Nyanta ka try le exercise ke. The more you do exercise and ni tata fo ila ejota nyato buka batano. Yeah, is the reason why ndeka exercise ke. Yeah. For my future. So tomorrow can be better for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
High blood will be
keening. Didn't will be far come back here. So we'll end the focus on the train and yeah.
Sa yemu so be men fola mole mi alon ko be siring suwol kono le buka wuli because yalla me coronavirus time wala kono ka komi angal ka fa nyame quarantine mbe tara soron ni bungol kono ni wosifa yemu so be men fola mole
momil bi so kono ke ndemi so to ka fa unless han yamanke every day. But most important thing, so manda juno, ni wulta sinola, han ni man fintino kata burola, but ni mu kewleti, I try so kono I press up ke, fi balo weekend, yeah, so manda juno train, tel gana important abeli, because ni la suto ni janika wule ni la blood, abeka tile, so ni wulta I balo kandini, I train ke, akina falia, so mul bisu kono, I besa try, mi na sembo mi na nga try nga fintingana. Nga manage domando man ke sembo ko do but it's very difficult also yeah
training
man diade training ko leata
it takes like strength and stamina a lot of stamina
aka time ta bakele yeah because me since 2010 I started training till today yeah I used to go to the gym, beach, push up, football sometimes. Yeah.
So how often do you train? Is this an everyday thing, like long?
No, every day I used to do training. In the morning, at night time. Yeah, every day. Even Sunday. I don't have off day.
Okay, so this is like a job.
Yeah, for me, like after job, this is my next job.
Okay, Modou maa ngi gis na yaa ngi xaw ma ñaxala xaw ma da nga dugg si biir géej bi rek tooyal sa yaram mi noonu naka la fa dee demee noonu.
dëgg billahi train la nii rek ak ñax bi ak sanguwaale bi nii xam nga.
Ok yëpp nga boole nii daal tooyal yaram bi. That's good fu mu nekk nii nag gym yaa ngi close waaye fu mu nekk nii fa mel ni loolu sax taxut Gambie nii toog de ñëpp a ngi génn si xam nga mbedda bi di daw nit yaa ngi génn si bij bi yow lan nga am pour wax si loolu.
waaw bilaay gis nga ko de gym yaa ngi tëj xam nga so nit yaa ngi over stress si loolu xam nga waaye because of corona bi xam nga loolu tamit xam nga si beneen side bi tam baax na si xam nga léegi nit yi dañoo ñëw si bij bi xam nga fii lu sangu xam nga nit yaa ngi over am seen boppa fii nii xam nga waaw social distance bi mu ngi over daw tamit xam nga ñu ngi respect xam nga rules ak law yi xam nga si loolu ngay teral si wàllum coronavirus bi waaw.
léegi xam naa ne comme mi fi fitness dafa nekk loo xam ne maybe before nit ñi duñ ko dee jël as something serious waaye comme coronavirus bi nu mu xapunee nii gis nañ ne Gambien su bari ñu ngi génn si mbedda bi ñu ngi daw nit ñaa ngi train nit ñaa ngi dem si beach bi lan nga am pour wax ñeneen ñi nga xam ne xam nga comme suma maas gi ñoo xam ne ñoo dee toog kii ak yooyu noonu di lekk chocolate yi ak yooyu noonu.
dégg wa ñoom te war nañoo ñëw nag ñoom te war nañoo ñëw xam nga génnee xorom bi ak suukar si yooyu noonu xam nga toog si kër bi nii tamit xam nga loolu tamit daf gën a billoo wéet xam nga nit ki xam nga yaa ma gën a xam so xam nga ne dañ war a génn si ñëw train xam nga yaa toog si kër bi nii rek jógee office ñëw toog benn place bi bu tam baaxut si yaram bi nit xam nga non baaxut moom xam nga nit ñoo war a ñëw train xam nga di soo tayalee sa waaye nga def effort xam nga yaa man di mayalantu nii di xam nga nga ñaxantu nii loolu am lu bari la xam nga yaa man
ok yow kaay fii maa ngi wax nga naan ma mu ngi baax fooy daw di dem yow foo jógee nii yow tamit.
waaw man si bij bi laa jógee nii. ñëw
waaye yow gisuma nga ñaxaw anything.
non nga foog ñaxa naa sax dama train ba pare after soo ga dugg si bij bi nii xam nga.
ok yaa ngi baax comme ni ma ko waxee rek right now nii gyms yaa ngi close and stuff like that waaye gis nañ ne Gambien su bari tamit ñu ngi génn si mbedda bi di dawantoog yoonu naka nga gisee loolu noonu as someone koo xam ne comme da nga value like health and fitness.
waaw nu ma ko gisee xam nga sport bi dafa over baax soo toogee nii rek mun ngaa bil wéer te feebar bi tamit dafa bari xorom bi suukar bi ak xam nga suñu xale yi jigéen ñi luñ dee tooga ma jiwee jimbo bi nii xam nga
nu fa dee demee noonu understand ma la de ñun na lañ jëre bàyyi leen luñ wax ngeen naan cobee Gambie yi suñoo tooga maji bi ak jimbo bi yooyu noonu
tooga bi tamit ak jimbo bi nii foog nga ñëw waaw jaxasoo bi daf day bari foog nga ñëw train ñaxa xam nga lu bari mun a génn si yow xam nga te fitness bi dafa over baax si ñëpp la amul xale amul mag amul ndaw dafa baax te gym yaa ngi tëj tamit xam nga feebar ba tax gym yi tëj tamit moo tax si bij bi leen dee ñëw xam nga distance bi nii mun a train am suñ boppa nay xam nga